Right, we'll start with Dr. Bustles,
Here.
Mr. Brennan,
Oh, ma'am.
and Mr. Brown.
Here.
Thank you.
Approval of minutes, October 22nd. Can I have a motion for approval?
Motion to approve.
A second? All right. Will, you're not lying, Will. You do not sound great. So thank you.
You're looking at there.
Yeah, we'd be spraying you down right now if you were here. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, going into what I think is a super important committee discussion that I'm very excited about, I think. Who's presenting this?
Well, it was the first that I had heard about it was from the mayor, so
Yeah?
I thought it was your idea.
Nope.
What's happening?
Found out about it when I saw it on the agenda the other day, so, I mean, other than,
We've been mayored, is what happened.
Yes, apparently.
Where is he?
Yeah, well, okay, so, yeah, you wanna drag him in here?
Yes.
Okay. We can at least have a preliminary discussion on it. I wanted to have the discussion, I didn't want to be the discussion. I don't know anything about this.
Mr. Liaison.
I have asked. I thought Matrix was gonna be on and I thought that the mayor was gonna be speaking, so.
I want this?
Yeah.
On the incubator, what, maybe I'm lost.
For the branding.
Uh,
Cause this is the, who do we use for the branding?
Caldwell.
Randy?
Caldwell.
Robert?
Oh, Crawford, sorry.
Crawford.
I mixed the two.
Crawford, not
Not
Caldwell.
Matrix, Crawford.
Well, at Crawford be on,
I don't know, because this was not my plan. I've just been told that we're talking about branding, utilizing them for the incubator somehow.
yeah, no, definitely not. I already said no. But if nobody had told me that this is what we were on here for, I would have, I would have.
Yeah, I don't know, I mean, I do know that,
I mean, that's not in their contract.
yeah, I do know there's some momentum.
Yes, and Justin made that
Changes
clear.
made, but I can't.
Right.
Many that we're involved with, if it's, the Cola Love, Femex, obviously GrowCo, the Quantum I forgot what they call themselves, Quantum.
SC Quantum?
Nah, it's not the SC Quantum, but they have another quantum group and others. And we had asked to get a proposal, and I think one of the struggles is we got more kind of a pay request. Is that a good way to describe what we received?
The cost estimate.
Yeah, the cost, whatever went in, but it went straight to procurement. It never came back to us to talk about. So it's been kind of floating around out there. And I think, Will, you can add some color to it too. You're part of that discussion. But the request is so that we can get this umbrella and get all these organizations under as we got the cybersecurity piece, all of that, and create kind of this central hub so we can benefit from the folks like we had with the young guys.
So we're just gonna help with the branding, and the hub is, like, the actual backbone hub, whatever, is gonna be an outside group, right? Or do we own this hub?
The hub is, the overall branding mechanism is so that all of those folks can
Can
work
be on like
together.
one page, okay.
So it's their marketing, and that allows us to utilize USC, other groups, the Quantum all to work together so that people see that we've got this creative hub here.
Would it incorporate the city of Columbia's brand in it?
It has to. That's why we wanted Crawford to be part of it and why we didn't step before, because we want to keep it separate. It's no longer going to be the USC incubator.
So now it's gonna be the Columbia Technology Incubator.
Well, it's
Or whatever,
whatever the
COLA,
branding that
whatever.
draws it together, but obviously it needs to be something that coincides with what we're doing as a city. And we saw this as a way for us to give a contribution to them to help, and that's why we asked for it 2 years ago.
Okay, so this
But we weren't ready then
a little bit
to
of
do
a
it.
hangover issue for me then. So the question I would have is GrowCo and all these other groups on board as far as some centralized branding?
For marketing purposes. What they don't want to do is be that one group is the controlling, and that wasn't the intent. It was more, it's much like the River Alliance stuff that we're doing for all the
It's like a
towns,
coalition.
everybody together.
Yeah, it's a coalition,
collaboration
yeah,
of
collaborative, whatever.
entities. Collaborative
Having
effort.
that overall umbrella.
I'm not gonna say a lot, but this is also local government leading, and I strongly agree with the mayor on this initiative.
He's not
He
feeling
sounds
well.
terrible about that.
Oh, yeah, you sound horrible. I'm glad you're on the phone and not here.
That's why I'm not chiming in, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, but do we have a proposal from Crawford?
Yeah, like, what are the next steps?
We have a proposal. They've met with the incubator and everybody. It got sent to procurement, and that's what sent a red flag up, one thing, and I didn't even know it got sent to procurement. There was a proposal from them on it.
Not from Crawford.
Yeah,
How far back does that go?
there's a scope of work that they sent.
Yeah, because of like the these.
But that's what it is, right? That's what I was told, so you're telling me something I don't know then. Because when I was told, they sent a scope of work to procurement and never came back to us to review. And that's what, because if I remember correctly, Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, you asked about it.
Crawford doesn't send scopes of work to procurement because we manage their contract. So when we put their contract together for this year, I asked you too about this.
Yeah, I
And
answered the
the
same.
number was quite high without enough information to the point about these different entities. So I guess describing it like what MBLG's doing by having the River Alliance now as the conduit
Right.
for all the different municipalities and governments that are gonna be giving money towards this whole riverfront branding initiative is one thing, because they're leading it and they're creating a scope and they've got a conduit. I guess what I haven't understood with clarity, is that what we're saying? Cause I have not met with GrowCo or these to the point of, yes, they are on board? Is that, y'all have met with them and they're on board with doing this?
We're having the cyber folks, the other folks all coming under an umbrella, not from an organizational stand, but from a marketing standpoint is here's our branding that we're putting out and here are all the options that you can go to. You could be a GrowCo person, you could be whoever.
Well, to my knowledge, because Crawford would only go meet with who we tell them to meet for, because we're the client, they would not have had, unless you tell me otherwise, Justin, meetings with all these different entities to even know what the scope of work should be as far as.
Well, I guess I'm very confused at the process then, because when we did, when we did the contract and we sat in this room, we specifically asked them to be part of this. They sent that scope to procurement. I didn't send it. Who else didn't? It came from Crawford.
I don't know if it went to procurement, it might have gone to
My understanding, it went to
PR,
Shannon.
and then
Is
it
that
might
not
have been
true?
forwarded there.
No, they wouldn't send a
I
scope
can't
of
remember
work
they'd
to
send that to her.
procurement.
It probably went to PR.
Yeah.
When was that? That was,
It's been floating
During the summer?
around for months.
yeah, oh, yeah.
Right, and you and I had a discussion about it, Mayor, and I asked for clarification about the funding amount, because as we were putting together Crawford's true scope of work for this year, it was still unclear as to how that would work, so we put that to the side. That's not to say now that we're having these conversations, because Crawford has a scope of work with us that we can add things and we can give clarity to things and we can move it forward. But it came through, I believe Peyton was helping me to understand what this was. And it was explained to me that it was something the incubator, and I can go pull emails if I need to, had requested as with these conversations y'all were having. I've never heard anything about all the other entities and it being like this umbrella situation. It was more about the incubator, which is probably why it's listed that way on your agenda today.
Well, that's where the hub started from, whatever they're gonna name it. They came up with a name.
And so my question was, so are we moving forward with funding something for the incubator, and Crawford is, the incubator's doing it, and Crawford, we would be utilizing Crawford to assist with this marketing initiative or whatever? Didn't get a clear answer on that, and I was told put it on hold.
Yeah, I think for us, we were trying to get them to develop the branding concept, not necessarily them have to take on the marketing costs and ever, because that needs to come from everybody contributing. Just helping them build the branding, the pitch book, all of that stuff that
So
went
something
with
to
it.
try to align everybody, because I mean, my concern, now to kind of go to the reality of this stuff, between GrowCo, the university, us, and all these other entities, it feels completely disjointed from an efforting standpoint. So everybody's got their stuff that they're trying to do, quantum, all this stuff, and it's hard to understand it. Even if I go to meetings, it's hard to understand how everybody's aligned with how to actually put forward something that's a tangible effort going forward to try to promote entrepreneurialism. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to do is kind of bring everybody together. I don't necessarily want to own everybody. I know, if I even want to rent everybody. I just want to know what they're doing and have some type of alignment. So that's why I was excited about this, but I'm less excited now than I was 30 minutes ago. But I also think it's important that we come up with, that we have to lead this effort in aligning everybody who's trying to do.
Yeah, I guess I'm just confused, because I understood there was a scope sent and it went to procurement, and that's where we had to back everybody up, because nobody had actually seen it. We haven't run it through any process.
I've asked them for whatever they.
Yeah,
I think
and so
it's kinda
that's where I'm
started.
a little confused at where we landed and how we landed there, because I never saw it till I was asked about
And I
it.
never saw it, so.
But I do recall, and I think Will was there as well.
But we're good.
Okay, well, I think this is good though. So, I mean, all we want to do is, I think we want to be the leader in at least aligning efforts. So, and trying to understand, I think, in my mind, there's a lot more that could happen potentially down the road, but that's down the road.
Because I don't remember what the scope said, but I think it was like 27, 31,000, something like that. Is that right?
I'll pull it out now.
Somewhere around there. That sounds about right. So I probably asked, who's paying for that?
Good question. Who would be paying for that if we did something? Would we pay for it?
Well, that's what the request was part of our original thing to do it, but we had no scope. So that's where everything got kind of shifted that went ahead before we had an opportunity to go through our process. Now, we did ask for it in the beginning to be part of it, but that was all dependent on resources, number one, and number two, going through a process.
So what's the incubator, what's the current, structure of the incubator right now? From USC and us and
So
other,
the board is
private
realigning, redoing the whole bylaws. They're shifting in, the university will have the Mac lab and other stuff, but because of the legislative audit and stuff, the arm's length has to be much greater than it is now. And USC had employees that were splitting time, and it caused a lot of clouding in what was mission. So now it's gonna be standalone with support through specific contracts, Mac lab and other stuff, to help. And they're having to do some weeding out there as well, meaning that, well, there's only gonna be limited. And so they're looking at moving into the TAPS building with a partnership with the TAPS owner, taking part of it, in being part of the overall process, and probably creating a WeWork opportunity in there, which we need on Main Street for more creatives, utilizing both the ground floor and the main lobby floor.
so what do you see as our very specific role as a city involved with the incubator?
Well, I mean, I think we'll be a contributor.
Okay. But I
And
mean,
how that have we have in the past, before we gave them the building and we put some money in, the county put some money in it, Lexington County puts money in it, USC put resources in it, and then I think Truist was one of the grants, and then they generate rent.
so we're providing support, not necessarily structure.
Correct.
Okay. I think that's the right role for us.
I don't think that we want
I don't
to,
either. I don't think we wanna own stuff. I think we wanna support stuff and the more boxes people check aligning their support or our support with what they're doing, then the more we wanna support them.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't think we wanna own it. Okay.
I think we're trying to get out of owning.
Agreed. Okay,
So the question is do we need to recreate a process to go through and understand what's relevant in the scope, what's the real,
I think, to be honest with you, and I know we're it's fine that we're regrouping on this. I think it's important for us to even if we're just leading the way on a branding and marketing thing, I think it's important for us to do that versus nothing, and then we'll be sitting here a year from now talking about nothing and a bunch of different groups that are all trying to affect change and good things in Columbia, but they don't really have a pathway to do it. So I think we have to provide some type of leadership, but not necessarily ownership, if that makes sense.
part of the process in the relocation too, conversations with Midlands Tech would really like to try to move their incubator into part of that.
I think that'd be
because
awesome.
Into
They need-
I'm
tabs.
just telling you, that'd be awesome.
They need their space out there for others, but they also see the synergies with
That's
SCORE
see, that's the
being in
problem, is
there.
just the synergy, and
And-
that's really.
Palmetto College, which also has a piece of what's going on at Fort Jackson, also being in, so suddenly you've got multiple, things there, so I guess, we need to understand truly what the scope is, what it would look like, like I said, I haven't seen anything but a one-sheeter, so I can't really tell you anything.
All right, any questions, Oddity? Will, you got any questions? Comments?
No, I'm good, thanks.
City manager,
Luther.
we're okay regrouping? Okay, good. All right, thanks, Mayor.
For me,
Sorry, I didn't know I was in here. I thought there was something already together, so
Yeah,
that's my
same.
fault.
Nah, that's just the way it
and I
is.
think to help me avoid that from happening at the next meeting, what would be the next steps in terms of scheduling?
I think we just regroup, let the city manager lead that effort. When she's ready to bring it back to the committee, we'll take it back to the committee.
All right, thank you.
Sounds good. All right, anything else? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you.